welcome to Law Times Podcast with me, Frank Titi. And here at Law Times, we'll deal with current affairs, news, with a sort of legal suave in order to deepen the conversation using the law as our instrument of perspective. Now, today we are dealing with something very interesting. The judiciary over the years and in recent times has been in the eye of the storm because of the activities of the judicial officers or workers in the judiciary. But it turns out that most of the time, it is not the judicial officers that are at fault. Neither is it that the workers, the officers in the judiciary, whether they're registrars, bailiff, or court clerks, are the ones to be blamed, but litigants themselves. Why do we say this? We are taking a look at the predicament of Sir Mike Okiro, former Inspector General of Police. The man was actually literally deceived, tricked, and hoodwinked out of an ambition that he has so much nursed for a long time and for a lifetime. And that ambition was to become the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo. Interestingly, Sir Mike Okiro not only indicated interest, made effort to campaign, mobilize, and he got supporters. But somehow, there were some persons among his kinsmen, because first they contested whether or not he was qualified to contest in terms of his ethnicity. Oh, well, he said he's from Rivers State. And you cannot commend Ohaneze Ndigbo enough for making it a sort of rotational, that is, among these various Igbo-speaking states. So there is hope, and I believe so, that even the Igbo-speaking communities of Delta State, where I'm from, would one day, if they haven't already, produce the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide. I find that very commendable. So Sir Mike Okiro had a lot of traducers, persons who are literally afraid of him, that they went to court to obtain an ex parte order. What it means is that they went to court to obtain an interim order, that is a temporary order, to stop him from contesting the election pending when the court makes a determination of his eligibility to contest. Interesting, I find it, that Mike Okiro was sitting on his own, minding his own business and carrying on campaigning, preparing for screening, when it was announced in the Nigerian media, mainstream media for that matter, that there is a court order, a substituting court order from the Enugu State High Court, barring him, preventing him, an injunction against him, stopping him from contesting the election. Mike Okiro was not served with the order. He was not served with the order. Neither were his lawyers served with the order. Now, it also moved on that Mike Okiro sent his lawyers to court in the presumption that there was a true order from the Enugu State High Court emanating from Justice Orji for the purpose of vacating the order. Mike Okiro's lawyers could not actually activate a court session that would lead to a point that could lead arguments and then vacate the order until the time the election could hold. So Mike Okiro, in presumption, in assumption, and in expectation that the order will be vacated, proceeded to the screening committee. But the screening committee told him in pointed terms that he could not be screened for the election because there is a substituting court order. And the election held, and Senator John Umbata emerged as the winner and President General of the Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide, a sociocultural group of the southeastern extraction, the Igbo extraction of Nigeria. Sir Mike Okiro took a very bold step, a very noble one, that is highly commendable, by congratulating Senator Umbata and also deciding not to contest something that has become a revelation that has been very shocking to Sir Mike Okiro himself. And the fact is that there was no court order of such. There was no court order in existence. No court order stopped Mike Okiro from contesting the election. No court order barred Ohaneze Ndigbo from accepting the candidacy of Sir Mike Okiro for the election. What happened? That a non-existing court order, it never emanated from the court. The judge never pronounced any court order barring Sir Mike Okiro. Yet, it was reported in the Nigerian media massively, to the extent that Sir Mike Okiro, sitting in the comfort of his home, prided himself as someone who is noted for obedience to court order, decided not to contest on the basis of a court order that was issued against him, only to be found out that there was no court order. It's always easy to blame the judiciary or blame our judges when they issue certain orders that we think are unjust or unfair or outrightly illegal. However, in this case, something interesting has now been brought to light. That it may not necessarily be the Nigerian judiciary that is corrupt, but those who use the Nigerian judiciary, who approach the Nigerian judiciary. What the judge was later discovered to have ordered was that the respondent, that is Sir Mike Okiro himself, be put on notice so that the issues can be joined, and then he will make a proper order whether or not Sir Mike Okiro is entitled to contest. To think that they have these people who approached the court did so very close to the time of the election and then lied to the Nigerian media, and then the media failing to verify the court order, decided to go to town with it, thereby causing the man to lose a certain life ambition. We think that's not fair. While we commend Sir Mike Okiro for displaying that spirit of sportsmanship, he also did not forgive himself, because he announced that his friends and probably family members and his supporters were laughing at him. That how could he have obeyed an order that was non-existent? How could he have obeyed an order that was not served on him? So that becomes another issue. When an order is issued against you, said to be issued against you, do not believe it until it is served on you. You are not bound by it. Mike Okiro, a typical and a proper gentleman to be commended, only heard from what he considered a credible media source, and he believed it. What about the screening committee? Shouldn't they have been served? Shouldn't the leadership of Ohaneze Ndigbo be served with a court order before he decides to act on its existence? In this case, should it have acted on a certain or purported order based on media report? It's very important that we take individual rights very seriously. We cannot exalt community rights to a point where we disregard individual rights. Another point is that is Sir Mike Okiro an ordinary individual? Weren't those persons who were planting this fake story in the media afraid that Sir Mike Okiro is I would say a former Inspector General of Police who enjoys some measure of camaraderie and esprit de corps with the current Inspector General of Police, and probably he could have the police move very swiftly against anybody who wants to use some form of criminal enterprise in the judiciary against him? They're not afraid. Why are they so afraid of Sir Mike Okiro becoming the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, when Ohaneze should be commended for making it open that every Igbo-speaking person across the entire world has a right, irrespective of wherever they are, to the extent that even when they belong to certain states that are not even within the core Southeast, they are entitled to contest and become the President General of the Ohaneze Ndigbo. I see that as a very embracing approach. However, why were they so afraid of Sir Mike Okiro that they would do what they have done? There are some takeaways from this. Sir Mike Okiro has apparently appeared to have forgiven the organization for not being circumspect in taking time to verify that court order, the said court order. He has congratulated Senator Mbata, the new president, but he did not spare the Nigerian media. Therefore, this must be a point of departure from the way we do things in the past, especially in the media. Whenever a court order is issued and it becomes the subject matter of a report in this, or a story in the media, it is not enough to get a soft copy or a hard copy, or whether it is certified true copy of that court order. A reputable media house will move one step further to call the registrar of that court to verify the contents of that order before it publishes it. Let's just say it was more than that. But you see, elections for some people are very important. For Sir Mike Okiro, in my own reasoning, it's a matter of life ambition. He likes politics. He even attempted to become a senator in the Federal Capital Territory after he retired as Inspector General of Police. There's nothing wrong with that. The man wants to be part of politics, and that's good. Having led the Nigerian police at the highest, echelon. Now, let's now go to those who approach the courts. Mike Okiro has said those persons who were behind this chicanery, this trick, this criminal enterprise, this attempt to now give a further bad name to the Nigerian judiciary must not go uninvestigated. And where if found culpable, they should be prosecuted and actually punished. I think that's important. The sanctity of the judiciary is something that we all must preserve. This case against Mike Okiro appears to be insignificant, and we can sweep it under the carpet as we often do. But we forget that that is what leads to impunity. And impunity upon impunity leads to a total systemic collapse and ultimate social anomy. And that's why they say, oh, we have good laws, but they don't work. But what about the operators? In this case, the people who have approached the court. This is a very serious issue. And I think here at Law Times, we are not off course to single out this issue and insist that we must track it to the very conclusion. How would that be easy to deceive a whole country, deceive a whole ethnic group, deceive an entire society, deceive a former Inspector General of Police with a non-existing court order? Everybody has gone back to business as usual, but forgetting that a big damage was done. Something that has become a serious revelation has happened. We must not take it that easy. Sir Mike Okiro, it's okay that you have taken it easy, but if you really want to help the system, simply instruct your boys in the Nigerian police. You still have some measure of authority, even though you are a former Inspector General of Police. Tell them that you do not accept this. In the interest and in the spirit that you have, that you respect court orders. If there is a desecration of the Nigerian court system, of the sanctity of a Nigerian court order, you should be concerned, Sir Mike Okiro, and don't allow any form of emotion or any other consideration make you sweep this under the carpet but pursue it to the logical conclusion. Now, for the rest of us here, we will continue to pursue this and see how it ends. That the fight and how we are striving to uphold the rule of law and justice for everyone is not a task for the authorities alone, but for individuals, for citizens. Therefore, we cannot make up our minds out of any form of desperation and decide to cause any form of subversion of the Nigerian judiciary. It must stop. We will watch this matter closely and keep it up. Now, for those of you who are watching, encourage our team here by liking this work that we are doing, by subscribing, and share the video so that we can continue this conversation. There are many more issues we engage right here on Law Times with a legal swab, using the law as a perspective. Now we'll be back with another issue, so join us after this break.